Hello, everyone. Welcome to Artistically Married, where we explore the inner workings of our marriage driven by artistic expression. From Niagara Falls, we're your hosts, Jake Ackerman.
And Brianne Steinberg. I was too busy taping. I forgot what I was doing.
Yeah, that's okay. All right. Well, today we have Geoff Farnsworth on, an amazing artist from Niagara Falls and an excellent painter. And
yeah, our first painter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
We're so excited.
some
Well,
real
Adam
art.
paints.
We've been on it. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. I know.
that's true.
I
Adam
didn't
was a
even
painter.
realize. I don't know why, because I think I've just seen so many of his like art installations.
Yeah.
That I didn't like clue in that that's where he like most of his time is spent doing murals. Duh.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I
I
know,
don't know
I love
why I
his
didn't put
murals.
two and two together. He never posts pictures of him like painting pictures. I don't know.
He does sometimes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, we're so thrilled to have you here.
Happy to be here. Thanks, guys.
And it was just exciting, like many of our guests. It's so nice just to catch up, right? Like,
I know, it's been a while,
yeah,
right?
yeah, we need projects like this. I was thinking about it today, thinking about you coming on and trying to like date back where we met.
Well, yeah, it was... Well, it was before that we were in the same art scene, right? Because we got here at the tail end of 4555 and all that, and so
Yeah.
meeting you guys pretty quick. But then I was thinking today, because you're incredible when we were doing the exercise stuff in your place.
Yes,
And
that's where it was.
I
It
was
was in the Nia
telling
class.
Sky today, but it never happened before or since. But in those classes, which was so fun, like CDMB at some of them, and Sarah,
Yeah.
you and
Yeah.
your crowd.
Yeah.
And remember, I kept sweat, but it was
Yes.
perfect heart shape, like
Exactly.
a Care Bear.
Over
That's
and
never
over
happened
again.
anywhere else.
It was like 5 weeks in a row. You
Yeah.
sweat this perfect heart silhouette on your shirt.
It was
Totally.
so bizarre. Oh,
So
man, that
awesome.
was a
So
good
yeah,
workout.
that, and then I think we ended up, you stuck around because that was like the time that the studio was like operating like that.
Yeah.
We ended up working on the Legally Blind with Rod Standish.
Oh, and yeah. Geez, God, you're bringing back all these memories.
Yeah,
now.
remember we did that whole dance with Rod Standish? He like they
Yeah.
played live and we played and we
Remember
were like
trying
the
to learn
dancers.
the dance,
yeah.
but it doesn't come easy to me learning dance steps.
But you guys were amazing, like such good sports, because I remember just kind of pulling from the Nia class and like my adult dance class at the time.
Yeah.
And some stragglers of, our group of friends. So,
Well, sign
yeah.
me up for some others. 'Cause,
Yeah,
always
it's been a
feels
while.
good.
And
Yeah, yeah.
I know, it's such a, for any artist, right, to get into like a format like that of like dance and movement's great.
Yeah, we've
Yeah, it was
been
fun.
talking about needing more dance anyway, like just dance parties and that kind of thing. And
have you
used to be a lot
checked
more.
out of any of Natalina's? I know Rita and Natalina know
but they
each
do
other.
some of the what is it?
It's ecstatic
Ecstatic
dance.
dance.
Yeah,
So I'd
yeah.
like to, because that was back in the day too on
Yeah.
Queen Street, and
Yeah.
those were going on early, and
Totally.
and those were great. No speaking and just getting into a safe zone.
Yeah,
and
with Robin.
moving, getting out of your kind of that self-conscious nature, and just sort of into a meditative zone.
Right.
So
Yep.
I'd be into
Yeah.
that. Yeah, tell me
All
if
right, let's
anything's
go.
going on.
Natalina was here. We had her on the podcast
yeah.
about a month ago. And I said to her, I'm like, just keep sending me. She invites me all the time. But,
Yeah.
it's hard. Like,
Yeah, it's like that. You don't get out to one, but then you do. But
and then you're
yeah.
like, yes, I'm in. I want to do this all the time. And it's monthly,
Yeah.
which I think for any adult is like a decent commitment.
Yeah,
I can
it's
handle
not,
once
like,
a month of
so
anything.
often.
Yeah. That's the max amount that I can commit to any activity nowadays.
once
right?
a month. That seems reasonable. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And they sound like they're great. I mean, I always see her advertising them. So, yeah. Eventually, we're going to get a team of people together and go.
All right, I'll
Yeah.
come for sure. Like
Okay.
I've been getting back into seated meditation again, all of that.
good
But
for you.
I found those were really good.
I can't imagine your imagination as a painter. Like, that would just be like, in my mind, I'm like, that would just totally like make sense and coincide with your talent and how you would spend your extracurricular time. That makes sense to me. Just brainstorming would be a meditation for a painter in my mind.
Yeah, ideas do come, but I guess, a lot of time meditation, then you're just trying to let everything go, but you get caught in something. And I'd,
Trying to erase your imagination?
well, I mean, another painter and filmmaker, and then David Lynch died and was on a total David Lynch binge, but he was into the twice a day meditation, talking about like imagination and that extends beyond who we are, and it's like casting a line out. it's like fishing, you know. You don't have a
Cool.
chef. You don't have a chef talking about they made the fish. It's like the fish came to them, or they caught the fish, and then that's what you do with it.
I love
Right.
that analogy.
Poor
yeah.
fish.
Poor fish. Just sucked him in.
Yeah.
Astral fishing?
Astrofishing?
Astral.
Astral? What's
Yeah.
that mean?
You know, like out in the universe.
It makes sense to me, man.
Ah.
Yeah, I like it. Astral.
Yeah.
All
Astral
right.
fishing.
Yet again, dumbest person on the podcast. That's fine. That's fine. I don't mind. I'll be the funny girl.
Yeah, you are.
All right. So yeah, you've been painting. I assume you've been painting your whole life, but do you want to kind of walk us through the creative process and how it evolved for you?
Well, you know, I was always, I was always pretty good at art in high school and everything, but I didn't have mad passion for it necessarily. It's just when I felt like doing it or was in art class. But like, I didn't even want to go in art class in grade 11. My mom was always pushing it, and she finally said, "All right, Geoff, you don't have to. You do what you want to do." And so it, you know, and then my sister went into studio arts after, and she was kind of an influence, but she was a year below me, and I just, I went and got my Bachelor of Commerce degree. And I remember doing the orientation, what am I going to do after high school? And my friend Woody was checking it out too, and I went, and I thought it seemed so effing boring. And but I did it anyway because I thought I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I thought I'd do my own thing later, and it would be good to have business background. And but I don't really have a business bone in my body, but I did that, and you know, and then it was
Me
just
neither.
yeah, I did that, and then I backpacked around Europe after for
You
a few
did
months.
that? Like you did a whole 4-year BA in commerce?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
Out in BC, so it was Cap College at the time. Now it's Cap University, and then UBC. And
Okay.
then, I went traveling around, and I came back and got a food sales job for a couple of years.
Wow.
And,
Where were you traveling?
in Europe, like
Okay.
it was just like 4 months of backpacking, and
Wow.
so it was kind of all over, you know,
Cool.
and Eurail Pass and all of that. But
Nice.
you know, at that time it was like you were drunk more often than you were sober, and like, so, and it was before, you know, all
On the
these.
piazzas?
But yeah, so
That's fun.
so it was just a long time ago, and then came back kind of early. I should have stayed in Europe, but I had sort of was still really into this woman in Mexico City. And so I came back and was working, and then we had kind of a part 2 to a relationship, and I went down to Mexico with a ring to ask her to marry me.
Wow.
Oh
and
my
found out she was
gosh.
still kind of with her old boyfriend.
Oh.
And so I came back crushed, and I had to go not only back to North Van, but I had been transferred to Victoria and Vancouver Island to handle accounts there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, man, I didn't want to go there. So I came home like a day early just to hang out, you know, in North Van, and went back to that. And pretty soon I'm like, it was the best thing though, because it got me to want to, you know, quit my job and change my life. And so then spent a year building a portfolio to get into the graphic design and illustration program.
What a total, like,
Yeah.
360
So it was
pivot.
great. So pretty
Yeah.
soon, you know, so it was one of those, you know, seems bad at first, but it kind of gets you to pivot, and it was the best thing. you
Oh,
know?
like the experience with the girl.
Yeah, because
Holy,
then it got
that's
me to change my
bananas.
life or whatever. So,
That still doesn't explain how you decided to be an artist.
well, then it was in the graphic. You know, the first year is kind of more, you know, like you're doing a lot of life drawing and you're doing a lot of painting and all that. And then in these graphics programs, it was going more computer the next year in design.
Okay.
And I loved the painting, and I loved the drawing and the life drawing. And so Geoff Holland, who was one of our teachers there, an incredible painter and just a super inspiring guy. And he would take people to New York City, like the third years that were graduating, and then just other people. And he knew I wanted to quit the program. I just wanted to go into a painting program.
Okay.
And so I was kind of looking around for something in Canada, but he said, oh, you should go to the Art Students League in New York. So went to the library, looked at the catalog, and then applied to that and did that for 5 years. So
You went to New York for 5 years.
yeah, so I lived
I feel
there.
like I
went to
don't
the-
even know you.
Oh, well, we were like dancing, and, like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So
I guess maybe when you're hanging out and you're meeting friends and you're,
Or
establishing
jamming on
your
other stuff,
yeah,
yeah.
when you're establishing your friendship, you're more in the present state. You don't go back that far with your friends
Yeah, yeah,
necessarily.
yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. You lived in New York for 5 years.
yeah, and then it was 9/11 happened, and I stayed for 10 months after that.
Oh my gosh,
But it was-
Jeff.
Yeah, it was, and then at that point, I had started just to see a lawyer to try and get from a art student visa to be on an artist's visa.
Okay.
Because I wanted, I liked the school a lot, but I was just I wanted to paint just at home or in a studio or whatever. But
Were you sick of being a student at that point?
well, I thought at first I went for a couple of years, and it was more working in the kind of realist classes, figurative classes, like where there'd be a model and you're painting full time from a model and drawing and all that.
Okay.
And then I wanted to not go to school, but I wanted to stay in New York, and I loved the school and
Right.
everything. But
Right.
again, it was one of those cases of not getting what you want, but it works out better, kind of with
Yeah.
the
Right.
Mexico thing.
Yeah.
And so because I had to keep going to the school, I left the figurative classes and I started going down to the abstract painting classes. And there were a couple of teachers there.
Okay.
And so then it got me, especially this Bill Scharf and Frank O'Kane. They'd let students do their own thing. And I was painting these kind of surreal paintings, working from photos I took of friends and like looking at toys and dolls and doing these kind of weird, surreal, people missing limbs and existential angst stuff.
Like
But they
Toy
were
Story, like the Toy Story ripped
Yeah.
apart doll. Weird.
with a really somber palette. But then, I'm in this class and, he'd kind of pose questions. And so you'd get into, I started thinking more about like color and process. And so all that started entering. And so it was so good that I stayed down there longer.
That makes
Cool.
sense that you have that figure drawing background. You can
Yeah.
really see that. Like you know how to draw people.
Well, you
That's
get
something
used
I'm
to
kind of just
struggling
learning to
with
do.
it. Oh, yeah.
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 Actually, when we went to New York, they had like a live nude figure drawing class, and I was like, we're at the art museum. I was like, I might as well just take the class. So I
It was
kinda,
at the museum?
Do you know Alex Gray?
Yeah, the mystical kind of,
Yeah.
chakras and everything.
Yeah,
and-
he's considered a visionary artist.
Yeah. Oh, he was
Mystic,
there?
Yeah. It's
It's
his
their-
art gallery.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So
And
we
then
went-
you took classes from him?
So they have,
Wow.
they run classes. They own their own property. Their museum is on the property, and then they'll do art classes. They do an art church thing, and
Really?
so while we were there, I was like, well, I'll try the figure drawing, but I'd never done it before, so
Yeah.
it just kind of thrust me into it, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
And now since I came home, I've been trying to draw faces and people, where before I was just
so
completely
cool.
abstract, right?
Oh, how long ago was
is
this?
his art. Like,
Yeah, that's my stuff, but
that's what Jake normally draws.
yeah.
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 And now you're into, how long ago was this when you were in?
Oh, when did we go? In March?
November.
Oh, yeah,
It's March last month.
It's March now.
Yeah, now it's March.
Oh, just like 4
We
months
went in
ago?
November, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Where is his place? Like, where in the city?
They're in Wappinger, New York. So he
On
was
the
in
Hudson River.
He was in Brooklyn
Oh, okay.
before, and then now it was like a 6.5 hour drive from
Yeah,
here. I
they were
think.
probably in Brooklyn when you were there.
Six
Because
and a
they were
half
in Brooklyn
hours?
for
So,
2 hours.
Yeah, just a couple hours outside of New York or
Yeah,
less?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Ah.
we're going back again,
Yeah, I'm
actually.
going to get more
and
info from you later. And yeah.
We're
Yeah, it's a
going
really
in a
cool
week. You're
place.
more than welcome to join
You're
us.
going in a week again?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
We're
Holy-
going back again because, they do full moon ceremonies and all kinds of. They've actually like called it like art church. So
Yeah.
it's basically all
Yeah,
the
you
same.
referenced
Yeah,
that
same
earlier,
type
yeah.
of like spiritual experience, but relating that sense of creativity in you that people are calling God. It's a very
Yeah.
like inward God. She was actually raised Jewish, and he was raised in like Christianity, but then
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
went atheist.
Yeah.
And now they've come together and created this like beautiful concept of like your inner God being art.
Yeah. So are they like, is it a lot of meditation and that kind of thing too?
It's a lot of community, like social fabric building, really. I mean, they have like an art lab there where they do the art lessons. They have a space where they do like yoga or like vibrant dancing type of things. But then the big is Entheon, which is their art gallery, and it's both of their art like put into this art gallery.
This is his wife's. She
Allison
is also
his
a painter.
Yeah, she's also
artist?
a painter. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, really? Wow.
It's incredible, and the grounds are amazing, and they've bought this like beautiful property and built this huge like art gallery on it. So yeah, it's really cool.
I gotta check it out. Yeah, definitely.
You should check it out next week and get in the car with us.
Something to think about. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Road trip. Yeah, it's gonna be
sounds
awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I mean, you kind of touched on this a little bit, and like I said, I feel like I didn't really know where your education fell. It's not something typically that you talk about with your friends, but your art is definitely just has like such a specific, distinct style, and you mentioned this about just the diverse amount of colors that you use like in one piece. It's truly amazing. I've never ever seen any art like it. So yeah, how did you kind of go about establishing that and shaping it into what it is now?
Well, yeah, again, back at the school, so like Bill Scharf and Frank O'Kane, and they were abstract, like Bill Scharf was the protege and studio assistant to Mark Rothko, so it was that whole abstract expressionist vibe. I never, at the time was so much into a lot of abstract art, so I was kind of going down to those classes to do my own thing. But again, he was like just a wizard. He'd either be working on these small, very long, or usually horizontal paintings or drawings that were I'm gesturing on a podcast with my hands. But
video?
like a foot and a half long or something, or they were huge, like these rolls, and he'd have them, and he'd just keep working and reworking, and they're just were so beautiful. And of course, going to school there, you'd just hop out of school and whip through the park and be in the Met or a bunch of commercial galleries around. Yeah. Another big artist I was influenced by, a guy named Odd Nerdrum, a Norwegian artist, and he had the kind of angst sort of paintings and people missing limbs and that was sort of starting to think about that, but like being able to go and see work in person and his amazing paintings and things you'd look at in art books or nowadays, of course, in your phone, but being able to get right up close. So that was huge. That was a good thing about being there. Yeah. And then, and then it was time, for quite a while, I was like, I love being in New York, but was also looking forward to coming back to Canada. And it was just, so I moved to Toronto instead of Vancouver because it was just a lot closer. And I had a sister and an aunt in Toronto, and they're artists. So, yeah.
Your sister and your aunt are artists as well?
Yeah, my aunt's a writer, and my sister, so she was a big influence.
What's your mom have to say about this now?
Oh, she's always
like,
been super supportive. Yeah.
I told you that, Geoff, in grade 11.
Yeah, she was always 100%, so it's great, yeah.
Yeah, wow, what an artistic family. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then end up in Niagara.
Yeah, so, what is the intuitive versus the technical part play in? Because I've watched you a few times, and it really is incredible to watch. I know you've talked, when I've watched you been painting, you're like, okay, I have this idea, I know what I'm painting. But you really do, like, take what originally starts off as looking so abstract, and then all of a sudden it comes to life, and like the lines start showing up and the shapes are showing up. So how do you kind of balance that like intuition versus technique?
Yeah, well, like you're talking about with drawing and learning to draw faces and all, and it's a lot of drawing's always a struggle. Drawing's always kind of hard, or you have moments where it's going, but if you get sort of better at seeing the bigger shapes and kind of getting that in. Most of the time I'm kind of attracted to a figure or a face or a friend or maybe a photo I've taken. I kind of want to go that way, or a bit of a scene, and a lot of the time it's just kind of jumping all around the canvas and working with some abstraction, or the process takes over. You're trying to get at something and some paint drips, or you just feel like you feel like grabbing a color and throwing it. Yeah. And so I think the biggest thing is just kind of getting into it and then trying to let the painting tell you what to do.
Yeah,
you know?
that was something that I found with after drawing geometry for so long.
Yeah.
Then when I was looking at like drawing faces, I could kind of pick out, you know, when you're drawing something on paper, you're still just kind of drawing shapes.
Yeah.
And I could really recognize those shapes easily, and it was
working with shapes so much you'd see the...
So now I can see the shapes kind of in everything.
Yeah, because that could help you, like, you're not trying to draw the eye and the nose as much, but you're zeroing in on the shapes, like, just abstract-wise, which kind of makes it easier, because then you're, you know, squinting and looking and seeing the light versus the dark puzzle piece. Yeah, that makes sense.
And the symmetry, right? A lot of faces are, like, a symmetrical thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
Do you start with will you start kind of with like a grid or something like that? Do you like to work that way, or do you keep it just...
Most of the time it's looking, you know, it could be some of the time a printed image or my laptop or a phone, unless I'm working from life. But if I'm looking photographic reference, it's one of those. But then it's like I might have a stack of art books on my laptop there, and then the easel and a panel beside, and it's just looking at it, usually starting with the brush and just drawing with the brush for the most part. Yeah,
I guess with painting, and obviously you layer a lot, so it's kind of helpful when you're just doing like ink. Once it's there, it's on there, and you can't go back.
Well, the nice thing about oil is you can layer as much as you want, or scrape, you know, and it is wet so long, so you can kind of keep the painting as the palette. And, you know, you can take a bit of paint away from one part of the painting and use it in another. You can even you could even throw some colors around where you want to paint. So you're going to paint a head in the middle. You could kind of use the painting as your palette and set some of that up. Makes it easier. Some artists will do that so that you actually have it close. You know, and it's a lot easier to paint and draw when you're looking at your reference material, the closer it is to what you're drawing. So like if I'm, you know, drawing you, and I can kind of see you and the painting I'm working on of you kind of together, because after a while your hand on the painting can almost feel like on the face, and it kind of, but that gets tricky when you're working on a painting and you're over here on the face, and
you just start painting
your
the face.
laptop's over there. That
you start painting your model.
That's called shamanism.
Perfect. I've actually seen, I feel like I've seen that recently.
Well, you guys were at Alex Gray's, so you're into that territory, I think.
Oh,
Man, that's exciting. I really, lots to think about.
It was incredible. Yeah,
I've
never ever been anywhere like that in my life.
How did, what sparked that, or what did you see? How did you learn about that?
Yeah, how did we start getting into Alex Gray?
Yeah,
I don't know. Like,
let's just leave it at our 20s.
Yeah, I guess
you've been interested in him for quite a while.
Yeah, definitely.
And I wasn't even like a huge fan, but I listened to the band Tool.
Yeah,
and like Alex Gray does all their artwork on the albums.
Right, yeah.
He's done a couple, but I think it's more just about his
I checked
psychedelic.
Out the psychedelic stuff. When I checked out like the Tool stuff, I just, you know, I was like, wow, who does this art? And I kind of looked, and I just always kind of remembered his name, and I always, you know,
from way back,
followed him on Instagram or whatever, and kept up with his artwork. So it was just he was kind of just somebody he was an artist I liked, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe this is just like the female in me, but I'm always so motivated to hear from like the artist's perspective about like the emotional attachment to art, and I think that really does make a difference, and I'm obsessed with this. Anyone who is interacting with me will tell you I'm constantly harping about the fact that I'm feeling like we're going towards a culture that's not as supportive of art. We live in these white boxes, and everybody's just obsessed with their, you know, very neutral colored everything.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm really interested to like you as an artist, how you incorporate emotion or emotional attachment into your work, and then kind of what you're hoping on the receiving end of like what you're audience is feeling? You know, what kind of messages do you want people to feel when they look at your art? Maybe those are two different things, maybe they're the same, but can you talk to like kind of the emotional aspect of your work?
Again, I think a lot of the time I'm starting with some, painting friends or family, or by far the person I painted the most is my kid, who I love. Of course, Sky. And so,
Shout out to Sky, we love you.
So you're starting off with good emotion on that level, and painting from your own world can always be a good idea. Not that you have to go that way. And then I try and some of the time, if I'm painting somebody and I want it to look like them, and it can feel more portrait-like, or it is them, but a lot of the time it's maybe a start and it is a launch pad, and maybe it doesn't even look like them and doesn't even feel like them after they've spawned kind of a new presence or being.
Yeah.
And so I guess it's always that balance between kind of deciding where you want to go and trying to push for that, or trying to get a likeness. You can just be struggling forever, so kind of pushing in a direction you're trying to take it, and then but being really open to process, and again trying to let the painting, it feels like when you're sunk in, you're responding and listening to hunches and kind of working with improvisation and spontaneity. I think after a while you've got a wider spectrum of your consciousness, like subconscious and all of that starts to become pressed into the painting.
Right.
And so if you're listening to the painting, I think you're actually listening to a wider spectrum, like a wavelength of yourself or whatever you connect to. So that gets kind of exciting, because it feels like, at times it really does feel like there's a fuller intelligence or something that you can follow, so that can be cool. So the emotional side too, I think you're often surprised by.
Cool.
But I like the idea that you hope that it's you don't need to know what it always means, I don't think.
Yeah.
So
Totally. I do find, like, when I look at most of your work, I get like a happy vibe from it.
Oh, cool.
But if
content.
Maybe because like you're painting people, and I guess you probably don't want to make somebody's family look dreary or gloomy or something like that. But yeah, and really, the explosion of color. And actually, I wanted to ask, do you have a favorite color? We have like phthalo blue.
It's so funny. So often, I remember my friend was at my studio. This was a few years ago, and I was doing a 6-foot square forest scene, and it was for kind of it was a commission, and I was asked to paint kind of a certain color palette and all of that. And I'm describing it to her and saying what they asked, but her face is kind of like looking at my painting, and it's so off. There's these weird neon pinks and lime greens, and they want, so I'm not necessarily the best at following that. It was kind of cool anyway, because it went a total different direction. I was told. And they liked it, but of course it wasn't going to go with anything, and I had gone completely 180 in the wrong direction. But I liked the painting so much, I said, no problem, I'm going to finish this up. And I went and got more canvas and stretchers and stretched another 6x6 footer and did another. And then... But maybe I was more able to work within that direction that sort of matched what somebody wanted more, because I guess it's a little like, if I'm painting someone, I think maybe that's partly what's cool about, say, painting the sky so much. And I like this meditative quality of painting something over and over again, because a lot of the time, like maybe if you're going to paint someone you haven't painted before, or draw someone, you kind of have a stronger desire to make it look like that person, perhaps, or to do it in that maybe more realistic style.
You don't want to offend them or hurt their feeling.
Or even if it's not a commission, you're just doing it for you, but it might just be the more straight approach. Okay. And then if you're painting kind of the same thing over and over, you've got more of a license to just try something new, or you've kind of already done it the right quote unquote correct way, or the more obvious way, or what somebody you think might like. And so you can kind of lose yourself a little easier, with repetition. And
okay. Yeah, I feel like I love your art because it's so like timeless. Like you can't figure out whether it was like made in like the 40s or like the 2030 or something,
40s.
right? Like it's either like you're so far back in time or you're so far into the future. Like I love how timeless it is, and I
cool.
always feel this feeling of like nostalgia with your work. So like even if I've never been there and I've never met the person, I feel like I'm like, oh, like a sense of belonging, like, I remember that one time. Like, it just makes you feel so, like, relatable.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
well, that's nice to hear.
That.
Thanks, Bree.
Yeah, it's really cool. I've never seen anything like it. And again, like, we like to visit art, that's like an interest of ours, right? We're into art, so
Yeah. Well, I like
don't
that
say
time
that without
travel.
experience. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, it's timeless. You can't figure out whether this was like a painting done super long ago because they'll be like really vintagey feels.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, maybe I'm in the future, like if this is like written like 30 years down the road kind of thing. So yeah, it's really incredible. You have like a really beautiful way of like seeing people.
Oh,
I think
thanks,
that's
guys.
awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, that I didn't realize this when I had actually messaged you, but I know that you can speak on it kind of in the past, but yeah, about your being an art teacher at Niagara College.
Yeah, I was
I didn't
teaching
realize that you weren't
part-time.
doing that anymore, but
Yeah, well, it was just before COVID, I just thought, well, often would, as teaching part-time too, and you have 4 months off, you'd feel kind of anxious about suddenly going back and having to kind of manage a class and be in a class.
Right.
A lot of teachers feel that way.
Yeah.
So I had just talked to the college and thought, okay, well, I would kind of like to have a semester off after summer because, all of the month of August would often feel like, Sunday going back to the work week kind of thing. So I just thought, I'll take a semester off and, which was no problem. And then COVID hit.
Okay.
And so then COVID hit and it was really different. And a couple times they asked and painting was going really well. And it just kind of, somehow it's 5 years later.
wow.
I don't know.
Yeah, once
So-
you kind of take yourself out of those scenarios, sometimes you can manage it and figure it out. I mean,
Yeah, you guys
strictly
know
from
on a certain
yeah.
vibe with what you're doing and the great
Well, and
setup
there-
here with,
you
know.
can talk around it, but there is like a financial implication where, we've
Yeah.
all been an artist
Yeah.
and our side job, we always have that like side gig to like supplement paying our bills, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and it's
definitely.
consistent and it's,
Yeah.
being responsible to other people. But yeah, I'm in the same, like going from, being an artist and being a dancer to being a dance teacher.
Yeah.
It's really an incredible experience to learn in a teaching role, right? So,
Yeah.
do you want to just talk a little bit about kind of the lessons that you did learn, going from being an artist and then going into a teaching role?
Yeah, the really good thing about teaching, it's, if you can just do exactly what you want and it's all staying home and working at home is great. Maybe you think you like that, but a lot of where you learn is by being thrust into uncomfortable spaces or having to go and connect with people. And of course, teaching would have some of its awkward side, but then it had its beautiful side and connect. And even if bunch of people or students weren't as into it as one, but you're reaching one or two or a few, and if you weren't forced out of your home, you didn't have to go and teach, you wouldn't have that experience. And then the other thing about teaching you probably get with music and dancing and all is a lot of the time the things you should be doing more in your work is some of the obvious stuff you tell students.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait a minute,
do
why?
as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, totally, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, why am I
exactly.
not doing this? I'm getting them to like have a mirror, look at the reflection of your painting in a mirror, because you'll see it reversed and you'll see the bigger kind of compositional structure. Things will jump out, it's reversed, and that kind of
that's
thing. I'm like, why
smart.
am I never picking up my mirror? Oh, because you're telling students about it, you start doing it again. And so,
Yeah.
like, as you learn as much being a teacher as the students learn. And
Totally.
learn from
And
each
you
other.
get those like leadership experiences where you do inspire someone and you do motivate
Yeah.
a student, and like
Yeah.
it's something that you wouldn't have got. I feel like as or maybe you can negate or attest to this, and you as well, Jacob, but like as an artist, I spend most of my time beating myself up. That's just the heavy
we
heart
do,
of an
right?
artist,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I think putting yourself in a leadership role, we call it in the dance ownership realm, we call it like imposter syndrome. So you're just like,
totally
I'm an
right.
artist. Like, and you kind of, you're smirking to yourself thinking, like, especially in the early years, you're like, am I an artist? Like, does anyone want to buy this? Does anyone like this?
Yeah.
So I think maybe going in a leadership role, you do kind of like have to like say the things that you really should be saying to yourself.
Yeah.
And then, if you keep saying it, it becomes your mantra, and it becomes more solidified into you're like, I am an artist. Like, I can do this, It gives you like that confidence maybe that you lack is just being like floundering as an artist.
Yeah, or you're floundering, you feel like you're messing up, but you struggle through it. And, it's more of a struggle than just staying home some of the time, and you grow from it, right?
Just getting out of the house is very difficult for me.
Yeah. Well, you guys have such a nice place, and you've got your dance studio, and you know everything going on.
Yeah.
So it's dynamic being at home here.
Exactly.
For you guys.
Yeah. Why would you want to leave?
Yeah.
When you can do all the art things, every room is a different artistic vibe.
Yeah,
in
and
our
it brings
house.
back like memories and all. Just coming, and see you guys out and about, but just coming back and talking about some of this, like I was saying before this, I mean, old friends and that were all before Niagara. Now it's been long enough, and it's just so wild.
Yeah, that we're all in Niagara.
Yeah.
And have been here for a while. Love it. Just had a couple more questions kind of relating to your teaching experience, but also as an artist. Do you think this is like a nature-nurture argument? Do you think, and I get this question a lot, specifically from the parents, because they'll be like, is it natural? Like, should they be getting this, or do I just have to keep practicing?
Yeah.
So what do you think as like a visual artist or a painter?
I think there's some people that have more of a tendency or a talent early on, but where did it come from? Nature, nurture, some of that also, or confidence, or what you're subjected to, or what kind of family. So talent goes a long way, but I would say the working at it steadily and sticking to it is worth more. And then a lot of painters I like, it's not always about the super polished realist ability. That can be great too, or maybe you mix that or have a style, but so much of the art I like has more of that emotional quality, or it can be, maybe it's a rougher style, or maybe they're kind of also where you're challenged in your weaknesses as you work on them, that kind of translates into your style, into your kind of voice too, right?
Totally.
If I was able to whip anything together, I wouldn't have, say, drips and layer and smear. It would just be this quickly polished, John Singer Sargent, who I love, but I mean, that's his stuff, and then yours comes out in a different way, right?
Right. Okay. Yeah, I find, because I always have this conversation with I have a couple good friends that are music teachers, and they say the same thing. They're like, it's the hours that you're putting in, and the practice time, and the like perfecting, and kind of, finding your own style.
Yeah.
And dance, I find it is a lot of natural talent, maybe because it's such, instead of it being fine motor skills, it's gross motor skills.
Yeah.
And I find it a lot of like coordination, and a lot of kids, like, it can't be taught. I mean, it sounds hilarious because I own a dance studio, and of course come and continue to build on it. And I think you can build your confidence, and the training does give you, it does give you like finer abilities or whatever, but I think there is like a basic coordination that comes a lot from a natural talent, which is very different from the fine motor skills of painting or music, which is like still also fine motors, where a lot of the teachers in those different artistic realms seem to think that, it's the practice, it's the socialization, it's the nurturing.
I guess
which I think is interesting.
Yeah. Both have their place, but
yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're going to be drawn to something, it makes more sense that it's going to be kind of natural to you. You're going to be naturally a little bit inclined with it, and then you're going to, continue to develop your skills through your nurturing. So I was just curious. I always ask my art teacher friends about that. I'm like,
That's interesting what you're saying about the difference, the gross motor skills and the finer motor skills.
Gross motor skills is like your whole body, right?
Yeah.
So there is like a certain level of coordination where like people just, it can't, necessarily be taught easily.
Yeah.
You know, it'll take a kid a lot longer, and maybe they never can grasp a dance skill the way their counterpart can that has a natural talent.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting in different in different art forms.
Yeah.
Where it can be like more of like this, school can help you, or
How long have
school
you
can't
taught
help
teaching? How long have you taught dance for
Oh my
now? How many
gosh.
years has it been now since we
Yes.
first?
I
And
was
again,
12.
another connection, of course, was Sky in your dance
Oh, right.
class and all of that.
That was probably before you coming to the Nia class.
I
Maybe
feel like
not.
the
How old
connection
was-
was more the other, and then Sky was in it, and that's why Sky was in it.
Okay, and that's why you
and then that
signed
was
Sky
cool too.
up.
And then meeting
Yeah.
like Sarah and Marshall and their kids and all that, and then more music
Yeah.
people and
Yeah.
connections in the community too. So yeah, it was a lot going on.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
Now we're all elder, and it's a rarity to see us all out in public.
Yeah,
Jake's
the odd
talk.
time. Yeah.
Jake's talk. Yeah, when is that?
August 2nd.
August 2nd, I gotta
Are we
add
putting
it
it
to
on the
my-
podcast? Are we inviting
I
all
guess
of
it
our...
is now.
Yeah. Are we inviting all of the world to come to Jake's talk?
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably just daydreaming, but we talk about having a legit music festival.
Yeah, well, you get a good
Yeah.
space for it.
No,
so.
like off grounds,
Oh, like a
getting the
big
grounds,
kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
making
we
it like a
def-
full music festival.
Well, it was cool. I found out recently that Cicada in St. Catharines started as like a backyard festival.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, it happens like that.
Oh,
like
yeah?
that, right? Just keep it going.
Was
and
that at
eventually
Mike
you gotta-
Palmieri's, or is that how it started, or was that?
No, that's I know
I
what you're
don't
talking
know.
about.
Yeah.
But
I don't know who started it or what family,
that's
but
the Hoedown for Hope.
Okay.
That's
yeah.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That started in Mike's backyard.
Yeah. I've
and-
still never been. I
Really?
gotta go. Yeah, I gotta
to
go.
either one of them?
No, I know. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're
gotta
both so fun.
I will this summer then.
I forget, but yeah, Cicada.
I've just always heard about the backyard, so I wondered if the two were.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Hoedown
okay.
for Hope is I feel like it was like on a group like a Legion or something. I forget. You know what probably is, well, Rita would know, right? She always
Yeah.
plays it every year.
Yeah, she's been at it, but I
Yeah.
haven't. Yeah.
Cicada is actually in the fall.
Yeah.
It's in
Yeah.
October at Henley Island.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah.
really awesome. Yeah.
Been
They've
out
done
to
a really good
Henley,
job
yeah.
at that.
well, it used to just be a day, and then last year was like 2 days, so it's getting
2
bigger.
days,
It's
and
growing.
they brought in an extra. The Knack put out their little like side stage,
Oh, cool.
and then I think there was even another stage this
Oh,
year.
wow.
Like it's getting to be,
Holy.
yeah. They have like the big 2 stages, and then there's like a little side one, and then I think they put another one in there. So yeah, there's like 4 stages now.
Huh.
Well, that is a perfect interlude because I wanted to just talk a little bit about art and the community that shapes it. I know I've seen, and we're going to talk about it, your art showing right now that you have going on. But yeah. How does the community, the art community, kind of shape your career and your perspective and how you're interacting in the arts?
Well, downtown St. Catharines just has a ton going on, as the Falls does, but just so I hadn't taught for a long time, really, but was just doing a 6-week, like once a week, 6 thing at Willow Arts Community, which is such an awesome place, and they offer free classes to anyone who identifies with mental health stuff, and
Amazing.
so we're doing some life drawing there again. You've got that going on. You've
You're
got
teaching
the
the
knack.
class?
Yeah, I was teaching a
Wow.
class, so that felt good again to do. And then, like you were saying, the Knacks there, and you've got the Marilyn I. Walker, and you've just got such a great downtown. And so I find the community, I pretty well, like when I wake up at my place, I just want to get out. So I pretty well go to Mate and get a coffee and catch up
Yeah,
my
you're
emails.
like in
or
Montebello
read-
Park.
Yeah, I walk through Montebello Park
Yeah,
to get
yeah, you
there.
got a sweet
'cause
spot.
so I love the community, and because I've lived in really cool places, but it was always sort of like, yeah, you're taking a subway to go to art school, or you're walking 50 minutes to get to another neighborhood where your friends are, or meeting but to be in a place where you just go out your door and know a
hub.
lot of people, like it's a hub.
Yeah.
So
Have you been to
grateful
the
for-
hobby shop?
Yeah, it's was a hobby shop before, and then they seem to it sort of goes back and forth. I don't really know what's going on so much there, but there was some sort of dance party or something there I
Yeah,
didn't
that's where
get
the
to.
ecstatic dance is going on.
Oh, that's where it is, right? Because there's a few, right? Like, isn't it?
Yeah,
held
they're
in
like
a few
Natalina's is
different
the
areas?
Niagara ecstatic dance, and it's running out of
Okay.
St. Catharines. Yeah.
And that's where she's having it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
let me know when you guys are going.
Yeah,
'cause
for sure.
I'll totally.
We'll all
meet
go
up.
together.
All right.
Perfect. You can
Sounds
walk there,
good.
I think.
Oh yeah, it's like 10 minutes for me.
Yeah, it's so close to your
cool.
house. All right, you're
Yeah.
hosting the pre-party.
Sounds good.
Yes, amazing. Can you talk to us about, in your teaching experience, or maybe now you're at the, what did you say? It was at the Willow Hall?
Willow Arts Community. Yeah,
Willow
that was a
Arts Community.
6-week
I'm gonna check
thing,
that
so it's
thing
done.
out.
But hopefully they're going to do even have drop-in life drawing, which they
Cool.
have at the Pump House where my show is now. But yeah, so that's it. And I've been meaning to go for ages. It's a bit of a drive, but a beautiful
Yeah.
spot to hit. So
Cool. Well, I just wanted to see if you had like a time where art has kind of deeply resonated with someone in an expected or an unexpected way that you can recall that was like, powerful for you.
you mean like someone else's reaction to?
Sure. I was thinking more of just like, someone's experience in like participating in art and how, that can kind of change. You were talking about, the mental health portion and maybe using it as a therapy or some, a situation where it really helps
there
people.
a lot where I think people just become empowered by doing it, whether they're in Joe Lipinski leads a lot of people in music and creating music. And,
Totally.
and it's just, you see people really in their power element when they put on a showcase and they're showing, say, the Willow Arts, and you're seeing the music side and happen in the visual arts or any of that. And I'm sure you see it all the time with dance.
Totally.
But just that empowerment, and people go from being sort of meek to being more and more curious and excited and passionate. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's the power of art, I guess. So,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can always talk about that with any artist having watched, either experiencing yourself or watching someone else go through it, right? And I think I'm so blessed because I am dealing with, typically I'm dealing with youth population.
Yeah.
And just to see them, walk in it and grow up in it is just this whole other element where, they're not coming at it from like you said, like a meek or shy, or they've maybe been through trauma, or they are having all this like suffrage attached to it. They're kind of walking in with baggage and being able to let go of it.
Yeah.
It's even more powerful seeing children be raised in it.
Yeah.
And they're exempt from it. Like they never have that baggage. They don't have it because they've always used it. And I will tell parents this all the time, regardless of what your child's ability is, all the other things that they're learning through dance and
the
through
community
art and the
they
community
build.
that is giving them security and confidence and that like self-assurance that they need as a human to
And
like
the collaboration also, because like how beautiful with music, but you can do it with visual art and of course dance. That kind of thing, and that collaboration is just a way of communicating, right?
Totally. Yeah. And it's such a powerful way of communicating without language. We talk about that all the time. Actually, we were talking about Alex and Allison, but they do a lot of like painting during performances.
Oh yeah.
So that's actually why
you mean
we're
somebody
going.
else is performing and then somebody else is painting while someone's performing.
Yeah, they get invited a lot to music festivals to like paint as like a visual aspect while the musicians are performing.
Yeah. So he's painting the people playing, or he might go off in his own tangent.
Yeah.
I think it's like his own thing. It's probably themed sort of to the festival or whatever.
Yeah,
but
they've
they'll do
always
these
talked
just
about
enormous canvases, and they'll
The
both
two of
just
them
work on it together.
Yeah. I gotta see
was-
some of that because I haven't seen his wife's work that I know of. I've looked at some books of Alex Gray and then online, but
yeah, she's
hers
kind of
is
in the
cool.
shadows, and hers is so cool. Like she has this whole like secret language associated with it, and like just their work together is so awesome. And I feel like he kind of does like the bigger vision, and then she'll kind of go and start doing like detail stuff because we've seen them like perform together. And that's actually also why we're going down to New York City, because a band we really like called Spangle is playing, and Alex and Allison are going to paint while Spangel's
Oh,
playing.
wow, you get all of it in one.
One weekend. Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Then we're doing that, and then we're doing a full moon ceremony, and then on the Sunday we're going to art church. So yeah,
Wow,
it's gonna be a
holy
really
cow.
art and spiritual weekend for us.
Sounds amazing.
Date
Oh,
night.
You guys are going on
And Jeff's joining.
I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
Yes, I love
Are
this.
they gonna let me over the border now?
What? Well, hey,
I
why
don't know.
not?
Well, just if they're checking your phones and all that, I don't know. But
Do you have something to hide, Jeff?
well, I don't know. You don't know what's going on.
I'm not
too
worried.
sure. Yeah.
I've been back and forth over the border a lot lately because I go and pick up dance costumes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Where do
I
you
don't
get
think
those
they're
from? In
checking.
Buffalo or?
I just have like a post address box.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they just like
that's-
send all the
yeah, yeah.
costumes there, and then I save myself a lot by like doing the manual lift.
Yeah.
If you ship it over the border to Canada, it's really expensive.
Yeah, for sure.
So I just drive and pick it up, and I just pay the 25% tariff.
Yeah, I know it's a lot.
It's awful.
Oh man.
Yeah, what a time to buy costumes. Terrible.
Oh, yeah, expensive already. and then-
Yeah. So yeah, I just the last I have a couple more actually. Oh yeah, we got a little more. But I really was interested, and maybe this is just a selfish reason why I'm asking you this. Is to talk about creative burnout. And I know I've seen you a few times, and I can tell from wherever you are in your life story. And sometimes with artists, they'll say like, "Oh, the art's burning me out because
Yeah.
I'm working so much."
Yeah.
And sometimes they're saying, "My life is burning me out, so I can't do the art." But
Yeah.
can you speak to that? Have you had
I'm
experience
pretty good
that?
at taking lots of time off when I need. Like I'll go in binges where I'm just reading. I'll get into some books and I'm okay with just reading a ton. You always get some of that guilt feeling. You should be working, and
Sometimes.
and that's really important.
Oh, I thought it
because
was natural to have it all day long, every day, all day, 24 hours a day.
painting all the
No,
time.
guilt from not working.
Oh, well, yeah, it's definitely there. Like, you gotta have some
Fun?
discipline.
Oh.
And you gotta have the other.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you need
and they
the
can go
other.
together.
I
But
know.
yeah, I mean, I can feel guilty too if I'm taking too much time off or you get in a good zone. But I think you have to have a certain amount of getting yourself down and working anyway. And I think a lot of the time it's more fear-based than lazy. A lot of the time it's like, you expect a lot out of yourself, or, you're doing it, you're thinking about it within time or results or needing money from it. And, I think it's important to be able to get back into that. You're just in the present moment and you're doing it out, that journeying and doing it out of the excitement of it. But that inspiration, I guess we're talking about too, like inspiration is going to hit much more when the factory's humming, when the process is going, when you're working, so you can wait around for inspiration, but inspiration is going to be hitting you a lot more when you're doing it.
Yeah.
And and there's a difference too. Like some of the time I'm looking at a painting and there's that, you're standing back on a chair looking at your painting with your brushes in hand, waiting, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? Versus kind of having the brushes down and maybe you're kind of meditating and you're not really intending to do anything, but you're letting it come to you and tell you what to do. Or there's, what am I going to do next so I can finish this? And you're just looking, you want to finish it. That's different than looking at it and being excited and being in the process. And then it's suddenly, those old abstract things you'd look at, and then if you look at it in the right way and it forms that space.
My husband's entire art.
Those
No, they don't.
You're
do
talking
that.
about an optical illusion.
those
I know,
optical,
I know,
but it's almost like the painting looks
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
when you're leaving, what I want out of it, I want it to be finished. And it's so
Right.
two-dimensional versus this, three-dimensional full process. If you get into that zone of just being excited about working on it for you, not caring about pleasing somebody else or
just getting it done.
getting it done.
Yeah.
We're all, I mean, some of the time it's easier said than done, but it's a nice
totally.
sort of
I always
nice
like to
space to try and get back to.
ask this question, but do you always have like a lot on the go, or are you more like you start a piece and finish the piece and
Yeah, too much on the go a lot. Like it can be so kind of fun to, and then they're always going back. Maybe I'll be in a headspace and I'll turn them all to the walls and try not to look at them and think I'll just finish this. And then you're in a whirlwind of activity and you're pulling them all out. And, but we get our heads wrapped around what feels like the right thing to do. No, I should put them away. I should just work on this. But some of the time that's the hyper-rational mind thinking about finishing and what should be done that's realistic with, maybe versus just the excitement level and getting back to that. And then maybe it is okay to maybe you're just mixing up a color you're excited about and it can be applied to a bunch of different pieces and it's okay to start another. I don't know.
Line them all up and run from one to the other.
Oh yeah, like the factory or something.
Like a factory.
Yeah. Get
I'm a human factory painter. Here we go. Get the factory going.
Yeah, there's no right way. I don't know. But then it can be great to just work on a piece also and just struggle with it. Because some of the time maybe you're not pushing yourself enough on that piece. You could, but what's the right, or I don't know.
I know. How do you decide when it's done?
Oh man, yeah, we could talk about that all week. I guess when's the painting done? I don't know. I don't know. I'll get paintings back, and I thought of them as done, but then it's back, and you're painting on it again.
Like you put it up in a gallery and you get it back?
Yeah, you get something back, and maybe a lot you won't, or maybe you look some pieces you can look at and think, you could do more on it, but it feels like no, it's good. It was a time, and it's good like that, and you're happy with it, even though you might. It versus other pieces, you're just like maybe you could throw it in a fire or paint right over it, or you love a part of it. And I got some paintings that were horizontal in this big one of them that's in the show now, and then I turned it vertical and I kept this one swimming figure that was in the bottom right corner, but because I turned it 90 degrees left, it's in the top right corner, and then I planted a big meditation figure, and then it went on and telling me what to do. But I could have left the painting, but I don't know, but it's like, I mean, if it's good enough for Edgar Degas, because he used to go into people's houses and want to take his paintings back and grab them and sometimes repaint them, and they'd say, you gotta screw him to the walls to stop this guy from, and he'd figure, they've had, he even said at one point, they've had it long enough for what they paid for it, and he'd figure it was his.
It's still mine.
So I kind of like that.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Wow. So I don't know, if you're genuinely excited to work on something again, and why not? But it's also nice to leave stuff alone too.
Do you have a certain work time where you wake up in the morning and do the thing?
Usually I get up and I like to go walk, go grab a coffee, come back, and then get into work. That's kind of the usual, but kind of can vary, Yeah.
I'll just get up,
There's no
out of
right.
bed, hit the computer every day.
No, see,
that's what you like to do?
Yeah.
No, I don't think she likes it.
I don't like it. I just start doing it.
That's stuff you got to do.
What I'm doing.
But then you probably feel freer having those emails out of the way and whatever, and maybe you can
I just
leave
keep
that.
working until I fall down on my computer asleep.
You're a workaholic.
I'm a workaholic.
I think to start with the morning walk is a good thing. Get the fresh air.
I kind of like
helpful,
to get out and do that.
I should do that.
I don't know.
I mean, I dropped the kids off at school, so I guess that's my walk. My legs
true.
are doing.
Yeah.
How about I walk out of the door into the car? Does that count?
I don't think there's any right or wrong way.
No,
really.
I know. Totally.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to your younger self? I mean, I don't even know where to start. Sitting in those in the commerce classes. What advice would you give?
Younger self?
Get out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Stand up and walk out of the class.
I didn't love high school or anything, that's for sure. But some of the time, I think, it'd be kind of cool to time travel and go back and just totally be in the art classes and take up music and all of that. And I kind of think could be, and then I got a kid. Sky doesn't love high school. I think it more now than before, but a lot of the time you kind of find your scene later on. Some of your people later on.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking about this with Adam a lot last week, but I think it's interesting that
I love that podcast.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, he's such a great character to sit down, but we were touching on the fact that we thought it was really like impactful and important for artists to have that business portion. And even though you're saying I don't have a business bone in my body, you must be. You're able to orchestrate yourself where you're making this a career. So like that alone, whatever you're doing, you're able to like sell art and make it a career. So
well, yeah, and again, who knows, like if I didn't do that, maybe I'd always be thinking, I should go and take a bunch of business classes, or whatever you think you got or didn't get, you had to do enough studying and writing and you're learning to think or organize. I don't think there's really any a lot of wasted time all the time in life. It just
for sure. It's just it contributes to your experience. But I think, like I said, like we have really talked with artists and thinking like every artist should have that portion of business so that they can operate themselves accordingly and not end
I like what you guys were talking about with a lot of that.
Not just get taken for granted.
Well, you were talking a lot about valuing your time, and then Adam was talking a lot. It was really cool. Like I was like, I could practice some of this, but instead of just showing the one option, a client's asking and you're showing them, but giving them 3 options, like Adam was saying with different pricing and so forth. So I didn't know, Adam.
Like psychology.
He saw David Bowie over the border and like when he was 14 or 15 and the 80s. Like that was wild.
Yeah, for the record, David Bowie's last show was 2003.
Oh, you looked it up.
I looked it up. 2003 was his last show.
When did he pass away again?
Shortly after, right? I think 2015.
No, we didn't look that date up.
16. I did. I looked it all up because I was listening to myself and I'm like, I sound like a complete idiot. Yeah. Oh well.
No, it was cool. You also said something. You were talking to Adam, but you said you offended yourself with your own art. What was that?
Yeah. I've like created dances where I was just like, oh, this is rubbish. Like, get off the stage. Don't tell anyone I'm the choreographer of this. This is horrid.
Beating yourself up again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
2016. Yeah, I knew that.
16. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're ready for a break, and then we got we're gonna do a break, and then I got a little crossfire after. You already took one of my questions.
Did I?
What's your favorite color?
Oh, we never totally finished that.
Yeah, you did.
We can get back to that.
Sweet.
After.
Okay, great.
So we'll get back to that.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Guys, we are back, and today we're sitting down with the wonderful Geoff Farnsworth, talking all about painting, and art is our first artist that we've had on our podcast.
Cool.
Not the first. Adam was an artist too.
Oh yeah, freak. Sorry, Adam.
Second.
I keep forgetting. I keep thinking it. He's not Adam. He's Thunderclap. That's what he said.
That's true.
He told us to only refer to him as Thunderclap.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, it's been a wonderful talk thus far. I thought this would be really fun. We've done this with a couple of our guests, so we're going to do a crossfire with you.
Crossfire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get you thinking on your toes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Just fun questions. First thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Give us
Thinking
the
with my
goods.
toes. Okay.
Thinking with my toes? Exactly.
Okay, so favorite thing to paint.
Well, I guess heads, really. Like, even in art school, like, I remember was just quickly with gessoed paper trying to paint and working from the model, but trying to kind of do up a head. And often I just wipe it off after and do it again, you know, even instead of the whole figure. But yeah, basically heads, I would say.
Yeah.
Heads and faces.
Faces are interesting.
Yeah, faces are cool.
Eyes, you know. Yeah.
Favorite brand of paints.
Whatever. Like, I'm not that specific about brands so much, but I also got so many paintings, bags of old paintings that people wouldn't use and give it. You know, I'm often pulling out tubes of paint. You know, maybe it's a tube of Rembrandt or Winsor and Newton or whatever, or a crummier paint. Or it's nice to have good quality paint too, though. But some of the time, like, it was like a memento mori kind of lesson in mortality too. Like, you think plastic lasts forever, but this whole trying to twist off the tops and the plastic is just falling apart. The paint was still good, but I'm like, plastic and these lids, it was like a real mortality thing, like going, holy
chop
cow.
it in half.
Well, it just felt
Chop
like
the
it
lid
feel in
off.
your bones that it's like, oh yeah, where everything is, impermanence.
Yeah. I know, and it does actually break down pretty quickly.
Yeah, I was
Plastic
surprised.
does.
I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I thought just one weird one, but I'm like, no, everything in that bag has been sitting there for
You need them in the little
decades.
glass pots like they used to do.
Oh yeah.
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 Little glass jars.
Yeah.
All right, so next one, biggest artistic pet peeve.
Biggest artistic pet peeve. Well, I guess part is kind of fit. Well, for a while, and some of the time it's the best advice, but often, like, I like the amorphous and I like some detail, but I like things left kind of abstract. But often getting feedback from people, and they're like, maybe you can tweak that out or define it more. Like, define it more. What, I gotta define everything? But then often I would and define something and pop it out. And then that, oh wow, it gets better. But I so much like the unknown too.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh yeah, what? I gotta like spell it all out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is interesting. It actually, so this is your favorite color to work with. And I had a guess before you would answer, and I was going to guess turquoise.
Yeah, I love blues on the... I mean, I really love juxtaposing, having like some ultramarine blue and some more like teal. So blue that goes more green and blue that's more in the violet realm against greens. And so many like, it's been funny before. I'm like trying to push things into another color area. Like, I did have a show and it was especially pushing more like having peaches and fleshy kind of corals and all of these kind of colors too, which look nice against some of the blues. But it's so funny, some of the time I'm like trying to get away from, say, blues, and then later I'll look and there's a whole show and I'm going, it's all blue. And all of friends, she's just shaking her head or whatever.
It's good to do what you like.
Yeah, in this kind of show at the Pump House now, it's sort of like there's some brand new work, and then all the other work is like within the last couple of years, except for one piece maybe, and it's kind of nice to juxtaposition them a bit. I think the blue thing happened a bit too, because would paint with a lot of earth colors before, and I was kind of wanting to banish earth colors from my palette a bit because they dry so fast.
Oh.
So a lot of the time I really like to let the dry. Often, people, oil dries so slowly, and people will want to speed up oil, add medium or slow down acrylic. But I was I'll put like like oil of cloves. That'll slow down your oils. So I'm often even slowing them down more. But part of it was laziness with cleaning brushes, and you want to leave them out and all. But if they're drying fast and on your palette, And
Right.
so I was kind of getting, not using rombers or siennas, earth colors, even yellow ochre, and these colors that dry fast. So a lot of the time going for the darks and grabbing blue a lot more than splitting it up between, a brown that would come out more orange. Now I'm starting to like kind of earth colors again, but that was a part of, I think, my painting.
Cool.
Being so blue, partly, yeah.
It's
It is a
actually
great
funny.
color.
Here you wrote down blues into greens, and Phoenix, our son, for a while, his favorite thing was to color all blue, and then he would color over it with green.
Oh, neat.
So I was like, blue, green, I guess we called it bleen.
Or gloob.
Yeah.
Glue.
Green.
All right. Okay, the next one. Most inspiring place you've ever painted?
Most inspiring place I've ever painted. Well, there was one residency where I got to go to Norway, and it was an island, Norway, off the coast of Bergen. That was really cool.
Wow.
It was 3 New York artists and me, and it was just, island with there were a couple of wild sheep, and a lighthouse, and we had to get over with the helicopter, and they kept having different cooks taking care of us, the food and all, and we were just painting outside most of the time.
That's
And that felt really
amazing.
good. It was the kind of thing I'm like, oh man, should always be painting from life and like Van Gogh or something, and just outside all the time. But it's like that kind of thing, like should do a lot more of, and you get comfortable in your studio. But
Yeah.
but like working from nature, working from real life and energy, and it just felt pretty incredible. Yeah, it was
That's
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
You got picked to do that?
Yeah, there was, when I was at the Art Students League, and then a woman there, Anki King, and a good painter and just a wonderful person, Norwegian. And so she's still in New York City, and she was the model coordinator. And when I was there, the only place I was legally allowed to work was at the school, and the only job to get was art modeling. So I got into art modeling, got to know her with classes and working in the office and all that, and she was a model coordinator. But after I had lived up in Canada again for a few years, but she had sent a message, and there was this residency option, and they were looking for people from different places, and it just worked out. Submitted, and it was great.
So cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah. So that was pretty good. Yeah.
Norway.
Paint from life.
Yeah.
Got to do that more. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. One artist, living or dead, that you'd love to collaborate with?
Well, just to learn from someone, and because I love their style so much, like Gustav Klimt or John Singer Sargent, just because I feel it would be amazing, and those time periods would just be incredible. I mean, you're talking, I can zap to their time and place. Yeah.
Sure.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, yeah. Okay, Edgar Degas then,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know.
Studio
Fantasy
must-have. What's always by your side when painting?
We were talking about the mirror before, so I always like that. I don't feel I use it as often as I should, but it's a good device, like to try and look at your work in a different way, to kind of get surprised by it.
Maybe you should just install one of these, on your
Yeah.
paint front. Have the easel here and the mirror there.
Yeah. There was in a time when I'd sleep by the paintings, like in art school in Brooklyn, all that kind of, but wake up and look when you're just waking up and look at it, and things really jump out, right?
Yeah.
You're kind of looking at something too much, and to put it away. But a mirror is a good, to see it reversed in the big kind of compositional shapes.
Yeah, I
and
guess
structure.
that's funny for me. Like when I'm working on something, but I'm still working my job and I'm going to work, but I'll always have like pictures on my phone. And
Yeah.
I'll kind of I'll always go back to it during the day, and then kind of just let it kind of simmer in my brain, and then when I get home I'll have more ideas and stuff.
I like doing that too, because you're seeing it a small version, and you could switch it to black and white too, or something, or
Totally.
zoom in, or
All right. Favorite art movement or era?
Well, I'm a big sucker for French painting, like Impressionism into Post-Impressionism and all of that. Would love to travel and be in the Belle Epoque, and go hang out with some of those guys, and I would love to do that. It's just the romance of French painting and the, end of the 19th
French
century.
ladies.
Oh yeah, sure.
You sure?
Sign me up.
If you weren't an artist, what would you be?
I don't know, salamander. No, I don't know.
Yeah, just to let our listeners in on it. So, and I guess on our process too, which we don't talk about, but we are a very regulated podcast. I like that our guests have a chance to kind of see the questions that we're going to ask, just to make sure, one, so that they have an idea, they can kind of think about their answers, and two, to make sure that it's nothing that they're uncomfortable with, that we don't, I don't want to surprise them on something that they don't know how to answer or they don't want to answer. But yeah, when we sent the questions to Geoff, and he quickly sent us back a novel. So yeah, I was already ready for that answer. I loved it. Yeah. I was like, oh, this just to, marinate on, but it's great. I mean, it was nice. I had all these, and yeah, the salamander was a great answer.
I think half of them I'm answering differently now.
You just have
That's awesome.
You just want to be a salamander when you grow up.
It seems like a nice life. I don't know.
Yeah. Looks kind of wet to me. I don't know. It's like
I'm a West Coast boy, right?
Yeah,
I'm from BC, so
used to the
I don't know. Do you get salamanders out here? I don't know.
Oh yeah. What do you mean?
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
For sure.
Harder to find. If
Crayfish?
you go north,
You
there's
get
more.
crayfish?
Anytime you're around,
Big crayfish.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anytime you're around like a swamp, there's salamanders everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like a frog.
Yeah, you got to go to their home.
Yeah, we got swamplands here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds nice.
So yeah, the last thing I just wanted to talk about is what you have going on. So exciting. If anybody's following Geoff on social media, there's kind of some glimpses on there. But yeah, let us know about your art show you got going on now.
Yeah, there's that's this Sunday, and so they're already hung. So at the Niagara Pump House in Niagara-on-the-Lake, which is beautiful on the river, and they got
So
the gazebo
beautiful.
and the lighthouse in the back, and these geese that were kind of fighting against the Canadian geese, but they look almost
What?
AI. Yeah, they got these. There were two white geese and this Donny colored one, but they look not as long as Canadian geese, but kind of more chonky and like pit bully kind of. And they look kind of like, was there with my friend Lauren and Sky said they look artificial or something.
Wow.
They're just kind of really weird. But one of them, I guess his name was Mitch, one of the white ones, apparently died, but there's still the two.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, so
they're also there? At
they're
the pump
also
house?
there.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And I got 16 paintings, and
Wow.
they're open every day but Monday 11 to 4, and then this
Okay.
Sunday is the art opening 2 o'clock to 4.
Yeah, so I was telling
Yeah.
Geoff, so we record on Wednesday night, but when you guys hear this on Sunday morning, if you have nothing on that afternoon, this is happening from 2 to 6 on this Sunday, April the 6th.
2 to 4.
That's right,
April
2 to 4.
2 to
Yeah.
4. And then if anyone's in Toronto the
2
day
to 4,
before.
April 6th, yeah.
Yeah, if anyone's in Toronto the day before, the Small Walker Press, Marilyn I. Walker, they have the Small Walker Press, and they've put out really wonderful series of books where they've paired a writer and a visual artist. So
Yeah, you're telling
Aaron
us
Knight and I
before we were recording. This is exciting.
Yeah, and Aaron Knight has created this really great poetry in conjunction with my paintings, and they're having a book launch with 3 of the more recent books. So there's Sean Surface and Derek Knight with a book, and then Linda Carrero and Florence Yee and another book, and then Aaron's and mine, Midnight Deer Abstractions. So this will be at Art Metropole in Toronto Saturday.
Incredible.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then I'm going to bring my mom back, and she'll be at the opening too. So
Cool.
Nice.
Wait, you're
Yeah.
bringing her, because she's in Toronto?
yeah, she's in
Oh,
Toronto,
right.
so going to
Okay.
go in and do all that, and then
Then bring her home.
see you guys.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, we will be there on Sunday. Come
Cool.
and hang out with us at the Pump House in Niagara-on-the-Lake. Do we have an address on that?
Sweet.
It's on. Is it on York? No.
It's right near. It's right where the Fort George is, but
Okay.
right on the river. So it's really close to the main kind of.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I thought it was York, but it must be off York Road. I know.
Just off the,
Just off it. Yeah.
I forget the name of the street.
Pump House, Niagara on the Lake.
Yeah.
So come hang out with us. You guys are hearing this at 8 a.m. and it's at 2 to 4 at the Pump House.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Amazing.
just search Niagara Pump House. It's on Ricardo Street.
Oh, Ricardo.
Ricardo,
Duh,
yeah.
of course. Yeah. You said you have 16 pieces of art there. How did you pick those?
Well, 7 of them are kind of brand new. Although I reworked a couple I had gotten back, but and then there's just some others that were within the last couple of years. So it was just kind of grabbing what would fit on the walls and that I like together. And
Very cool.
yeah,
Are they for sale?
yeah, all for sale.
Bring your credit cards.
Yeah.
Come max out your credit cards. Buy beautiful art. His work is amazing.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. It was so great having you on, and we can't wait to see you on Sunday.
Yeah, it's an honor. Thanks
Check
for
out your
having
work.
me.
Yeah, thanks.
Cheers.
All right.
Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and you'll never miss a podcast.
All right.